with Cutler Real Estate, and I'm Arden.
And I'm Lisa.
And we want to welcome our special guest today. We have Brock Hutchinson, and he's here with the library, so we'll get to Brock in a little bit. Is that okay?
Perfect. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, but right now, sorry, Brock, we got to talk about this weather.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
It's important. Brock, you are so important, but the weather is very important right now because we got some rain.
When it rains, we got over 2 inches at our farm. Yes, we did.
We did? Oh, wow.
Over 2 inches. We were expecting more this afternoon. It's Tuesday afternoon, so we were expecting more, but I guess it's not coming in.
Well, you never know. You never know. But it was so nice to wake up this morning and listen to the rain, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And so, tomorrow night it's not going to rain, right?
No, it is not going to rain because tomorrow night is senior night for the girls at Louisville High School who play soccer.
The soccer team. Yep.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Were you
the
getting
soccer
there?
Girls. We always talk about the soccer girls.
So Lisa and I have to walk out on the field with our daughter Alyssa.
Yes, but I'm going to add, it's really a special time for us because my mom and my sister flew in from Utah yesterday. We got home at 2 o'clock this morning from the airport, and they're here to spend the week with us and watch Alyssa walk across the soccer field, not us, right?
I love my mother-in-law.
She's awesome.
She's awesome.
And my sister is amazing too.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, we tried to get her to come along tonight, but
couldn't talk her into it. We wanted her to be on the show, but
yeah, the woman from Utah, right?
So anyway, we had a parade. We had beautiful weather for the parade.
We did.
It was a little warm, but it wasn't overbearing.
You know,
and Brock is the main man for the parade.
Big cheese.
Brock lines up the parade. That's my.
Oh, come on.
When people are trying to get in line, that's what I do.
Wow.
It's a pretty big production to get everybody off and not have gaps in the parade, but it's fun to do.
There's a lot that goes into that parade.
There is a lot that goes into the parade. I didn't know that when I signed up for it 4 years ago. I keep doing it every year though. So yeah.
But you know what? Once you do it, don't you just kind of, I don't know, you look forward to it, don't you?
I do look forward to it. I think it's really unique because a lot of people come out for that parade. It's not just like, it's a big time deal. If you're not in the parade, you're looking at the parade, which I think is really fun.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually riding with Bill Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you all know why I was riding, I damaged my toe a couple weeks ago.
I think she broke it.
It hurts, and it still hurts.
It was a good excuse, though, to ride.
Yeah, I got to ride in this beautiful Corvette, so that was pretty awesome. But I will say, I love to walk in the parade.
Oh, I feel so good today. I walked the 2 miles.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I did run some, too.
Yeah,
keep up.
It was all good. It was all good. So, Brock, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
You got to tell us a little bit about yourself before we dig into why we really called you.
Sure. So I grew up in Carrollton, Ohio, and I always tell folks that whenever I interviewed for the job here in Louisville, they said, well, what do you know about Louisville? And my only experience with Louisville was just kind of getting my head kicked in anytime I tried to play any sport here because you guys were always way better at any sport I ever played than Carrollton was. So grew up in Carrollton, been married to my wife, Lindsay, for 12 years. We have one son, Luke. He's 4.
Awesome.
It's a good time. I know that when people look at me, they definitely think I'm a librarian. I get that all the time.
I would.
I mean, so usually I'm the largest librarian anyone's ever met, and I definitely.
It's called intimidation.
Yeah, right. Shh, that's right.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all of that with us. So right now we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to dig into the library and what's going on at Metzger's Park. So we'll see you in a few.
Hello everyone, I'm Tegan Evans. As many of you know, when the Louisville Herald moved on into retirement, the city of Louisville, Nimishillen Township, and all of its community members were left with a void. The community lost its ability to hear about local events, news, information, sports, and community projects. We lost the ability to come together for Louisville's betterment. Well, we have a solution for you, Spotlight Media Network. Spotlight Media Network is a place anyone can go, whether it be social media, YouTube, or our website, that will display information in different formats to show the best Louisville has to offer. One last thing, if you have something newsworthy or something you would like the community of Louisville to hear about, send us an email at spotlightlouisville1@gmail.com. So if you want to see what is happening in Louisville or the best Louisville has to offer, check out Spotlight Media Network, where we know Louisville is #1.
Hello, we're back, and we are joined by Brock Hutchinson from the library. And he's a library director, and we got a lot of stuff going on with the library. And I guess Lisa has a couple questions for him.
Well, I had about 20 questions.
20?
Well, actually, I will
It's gonna be a
tell you,
long show.
my neighbors, Bonnie Whitmer and Norma McCourt, they were over for dinner this evening, and they were watching me type up some questions, and they said, well, hey, ask him this. Never mind, we'll come with you and we'll interview him.
Would love to, anytime.
Yeah, I said, I'm sure you can just drop by and ask the
He's an
questions.
open book.
I'm an
Yes.
open book, absolutely.
Yeah, so let's just start. Why build a new library?
Well, so I'll tell you, when we broke ground back in April, I looked back on our notes, and the new library was a project that was started in November of 2002.
Oh.
So this is a project 22 years in the making. Now obviously I wasn't a part of that, and there's been lots of iterations since. But that has been ongoing for over 2 decades. I've often joked that had we been successful on that first attempt, I would actually be renovating that building now instead of building a new one, because it's been that long.
Yeah.
And so the need for a new library has been evident for some time. If you've been in our current facility, it simply just does not meet a lot of the requirements of a current 21st century library. For example, upstairs is completely inaccessible. We have some ADA issues. We can't get people up onto the second floor that have any kind of disability. So what we do is we grab books up there for them, bring things down. We try to accommodate to the best we can, but most of our public service is all on the first floor. So we have an entire second floor that we almost really don't use, except for some staff area. And then of course, electrical and internet and technology has all changed quite a bit since that building was built. And the infrastructure is just simply not there to have what we need in a new library, which is not flipping breakers all the time when we run equipment. Having the data cabling and technological infrastructure to be able to offer all the services that we want to be able to offer. And so that need's been apparent for a long time, but I think the question that I get most often is, why build the library in Metzger Park? And really, I think if you take a look around, and 2 case studies I looked at quite heavily were in Stark County. The Perry Sippo Library is built in a park, and so is the Jackson Library. And it's pretty common for libraries to be built in parks. And I would often talk about at the beginning of this process that there are essentially 2 free resources that are free to anybody that have something for everyone from the time that you are born till the time that you die. And that's your public library and your local parks. So it makes sense to put them together. The library was always meant to be an accessory to Metzger Park. It's there to enhance the park and to provide those free services for anybody who wants to use the park and or the library and do it together. I know it's a long-winded answer, but I love this question. I was at Second Fridays a couple weeks ago, and I had a young woman come up to me and she said, well, where's the library? And I said, oh, it's going to be built out at Metzger Park. And she said, no, I just moved here. I know where that's at. Where is the library at now? And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. That's part of our
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. I think this will give it more exposure down there, and
Yes.
everybody will link all that together and know exactly where it's at.
Yes.
So it looks like, the park is huge.
It's 88 acres, yes.
Wow. Okay. So how much space is the library taking there?
1 acre.
Oh, wow.
And so the library building itself sits on 1 acre. That's what we've leased from the city. The other project that's improving the park there is a parking lot for the city's baseball field complex. And that was all going in prior to the library. In fact, that was part of the major inspiration was the city released a plan after they received grant dollars to do the baseball complex. And we looked at that plan as, wow, the library park, they're going to have a parking lot, they're going to have to do stormwater, they're going to have to do utilities. We can work together on all of this. Everybody saves money. And that's what we did. That's the plan we've executed. So without us having to build a big parking lot, without us having to put in utilities and stormwater and being able to share all those costs with the city, we have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's great.
And that way, everybody's working together. And again, that project was happening whether or not the library was going to be there or not. So in addition to that project, the library disturbed about 1 acre, maybe just slightly more.
Okay. So did you design it?
No.
You're
So
not the architect. Okay.
I actually, I did download software to design it myself, and this just as a joke. This is something I was doing at home, and I handed it to our architect Joe Caplia, who's been absolutely phenomenal. He grew up on Mid-A, which is really right across from the park. The Caplia barn there, that's the property he grew up on. He's very, very passionate about this project. And I handed it to him, and he said, "Okay, Brock, great." And he scrolled it up, and he said, "Now let's talk about some other ideas." And so the design was done by Joe Caplia. His studio is in Uniontown these days, and like you said, he is a Louisville resident. That's where he grew up.
Yeah.
He didn't like your shoot and pull during the library time and all that. Your pool room.
So one of the biggest questions that you probably get, how is this going to be paid for?
Yeah, so remember that during that 20-year period where we were unsuccessful in building a new library, we were saving money.
Okay.
And so we had a good chunk of money reserved for a new building that we'd been raising and saving and scraping for the last 20 years. And then we've been fundraising and grant writing. I mean, we received $350,000 from the Stark Community Foundation Capital Fund. The Beery Family Foundation has given us quite a lot of money. They got us started in this process. And all those donors will be recognized in the new building. And we've been fundraising, I should say, donor opportunities are still available if anybody's interested out there. But
Sure.
so, we wanted to be able to, when it came to fundraising, to give anybody an opportunity from $100 all the way up to $350,000, whatever that gift is that you wanted to give, you would be recognized. So this really feels like a true community project because it is. Your library in your community, especially in small towns, fills in the gaps in your community. It's something for everyone. I mean, that's what we do. And so, to give you an example, I'm getting a little off topic. Nobody in Louisville provided passport services. So we trained several passport agents, and now you can get a passport at the library.
Wow.
We do that with notaries. We've done that with, this was a weird one, but we started checking out traffic cones just so we were seeing on message online that people were not able to get traffic cones to train their 16-year-olds to take the maneuverability test.
Yeah.
Nobody wants those things after they're done, so we started checking those out. We check out ice skates for the city's skating rink, pickleball equipment. So the books will always be the bread and butter of the library, but it fills in all those little gaps in the community that I think are really important. And that's what your library does. Now, back to how do we pay for it? So then there's obviously a gap in between fundraising and the money that we've saved. And we've been able to borrow the rest of that money, very similar to how you would do a mortgage, okay? It's a very common way for public entities to do construction without having to ask for a levy. So there'll be no levy, there's no additional tax increase, nothing like that. And what happens is that money that we had been saving each year, Now we just put that money towards the debt, and that pays it off just like a mortgage. Stark Library just recently did this. You've seen a lot of their buildings getting renovated without any increase in their levy. It's a very common way of doing it, and that's what we've done. So you won't see any additional tax increase with this new library.
Well, that's
good.
great news. That's
Yes.
great news.
Yes.
So it sounds exciting, sounds awesome. When is it going to be done?
It's all weather dependent. But we hope to be open in the first quarter of 25.
Oh,
Okay.
And
okay.
so pretty soon, I mean, Fred Oliveri Construction is the builder out there. They have delivered time and time again to keep us ahead of schedule. If you haven't driven by, I'd encourage you to drive by. Take a look at it. A lot of the curb work is done. The walls are up. Windows are in. I mean, we're cruising at this point.
Yeah.
And I have done a number of tours, community tours through the unfinished building. And if anyone out there would like to take a tour, just call me. We will go out, we'll put on a hard hat, and we'll walk through the building. I would invite anyone to do that. My number is on our library website. Call me anytime. We'll go
That
out and
is
take a look
awesome.
at it.
That's great.
That's super awesome. You also mentioned a little bit ago, if anybody has a question,
Call me.
they can call you. You'll even maybe put it on their
So,
website.
Yeah, what I was explaining to Arden and Lisa here at the beginning of the show was, if you ask a question, you'll look at our FAQ page on our website, which is straight on our website, frequently asked questions. If you ask a question that I haven't gotten, I put the answer back on our website. So then I assume other people have the same question.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We would have been asked a lot about like the plantings around the library. So the planting plan is right on our website.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can actually go and see all the different varieties of plants, all local, all native, everything meant to enhance the park and complement the prairie landscape of Metzger Park. So everything selected there is completely native. The design was done by a local people here in Louisville that care about Metzger Park, that are associated with the library. But you can go and look at that plan. It's completely transparent. Anything you want to see.
That's great. So beginning of 2025,
Yep.
open house.
Yeah, we'll do it all. I mean, a project that's 20 years in the making. We'll have a big ribbon cutting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we'll have parties and
Huge
open it up to
celebration.
everybody. If you didn't come to the groundbreaking, we had a few hundred people come to the groundbreaking. It was awesome. We had
Yeah.
gold shovels for kids, and it was a blast. Rob was there doing the filming of it and everything, and it'll be even bigger for the ribbon cutting. Trust
Oh,
me.
that'll be cool.
Wow.
That'll be cool. Well, we are going to thank you for stopping by.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
we
you for
know
having
that
me.
you are a wealth of knowledge and you're an open book. And I think that's what the people of Louisville appreciate. They
Yeah,
want to
thanks.
know what's going on and when it's going to happen. And
Yeah.
so next week,
Next week. Well, we'll talk about next week when we get to next week. I got family
and we
here.
are going to get
Yeah.
to,
I'm a little busy.
we're going to get to your fall in love
Yeah.
with your home.
Yes.
And that's going to be starting in October.
next week.
I think what I want to tell people is get those pumpkins, get everything decorated, and what we need you to do is get a hold of us one way or another and let us know who you would like to nominate, because we're looking for nominations. Lisa and I drive around town all the time showing houses and doing things, but there might be that one tucked away that really deserves. And so get a hold of us.
For sure. And along with that note, and we sometimes don't agree on the house, right?
Well, sometimes.
So it'd be nice if somebody else
She
would
always
just tell
wins,
us.
though.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks so much for joining us. And just remember, if you're buying or selling, need help with real estate, or have a real estate question, give us a call. Have a great week, everybody.
See ya.